Man, I have so many projects to work on, but we are here. What's going on, everyone? GZTV. We are back with another video. We are continuing on our MCU excursion, and probably the least hype I've been to watch a film in this universe. We have Thor: Love and Thunder. I think this movie came out in like 2022, so it's been like 3 years for people to marinate, and this is my first time watching this. I didn't go watch it when it initially came out. Again, I kind of fell out of love with the MCU after Endgame because I thought that really should wrap it up, but no, they just keep going. Sure, I'll keep watching it. And you know what? Sure, I might have been justified in some aspects to not be hyped about this, but honestly, this film isn't half as bad as what everyone is making it out to be honest with you. Is it arguably the worst movie in the MCU? Sure, but that's a high bar, really. Is it a good movie? Not really, but it's not like I absolutely despised this film. It was obviously very goofy and dumb at some times, but I honestly didn't mind it at all. There was some fun to be had, there were some corny yet wholesome moments in here. It was okay. We're gonna get through a bunch of stuff in this video. The same people that you would expect to be here were here. You get some new characters. Christian Bale is the villain, which I think is absolutely badass and is like the main selling point for this movie. He's played heroes and pretty much everything in between. Psychopaths. I have to go back and rewatch American Psycho. Every time I think of Christian Bale, I think of how amazing that movie is. But this is my first experience with him as a villain. I don't know if he's played villains in the past, but this is really exciting for me. It is odd to have Russell Crowe here once again. I think he's been in like 3 comic book films at this point, but whatever. I will talk about some of these characters in a little bit, but let's get into some things. So getting into the premise, just what happens, Thor embarks on a journey unlike anything he's ever faced. A quest for inner peace. He's kind of retired, he's kind of done saving the world, saving the galaxy, his universe, all of these things. However, his retirement gets interrupted by a pretty serious threat in Gore the God Butcher. He's a galactic killer who seeks the extinction of the gods. He has this necro sword that he can kill gods with. That's cool, right? And I mean, to combat the threat, Thor enlists the help of his typical crew that you pretty much saw through like Thor Ragnarok. You get King Valkyrie, you get Korg, and instead of Hulk, you get his ex-girlfriend Jane Foster, who, to his surprise, inexplicably, yes, that's a big word, inexplicably wields his magical hammer. How the fuck is she doing that? I don't know. We'll get into that later. Together, they set out on a harrowing cosmic adventure to uncover the mystery of the God Butcher's vengeance. Now, I will say this premise is a bit forced. Like, again, inexplicably, a lot of things just happen, and that seems to be the source of critique for it, as well as the goofiness. But overall, it's not a terrible setup if you really look at it. They're trying to almost have a Thanos but for gods, and sure, it isn't on that scale, but it is still a decent foundation to continue Thor's story arc. Now, how they execute it is a completely different story, and I will say this is the movie that strays the most away from mythology in terms of its vibe and execution, and that's a big issue here, but we will get into that later. Let's just keep the hammer moving, shall we? I'm not going to put an edit there. I don't know how to do that. So getting into the good, as with every Marvel movie, there are 2 things I could say about this film. It is great to look at as a spectacle, and it's a pretty entertaining film to an extent. Starting with the spectacle, it was a really cool movie in terms of the aesthetics and the color gradients. It's a very good use of color. It's a very artsy movie. Black and white, you know, you have the shadow realm, and I loved how the color of like the powers contrasted it. That looked great. It made for a really fun piece of cinema there. There's like extremely dark moments. There's bright moments, almost too bright and magical at times. The worlds, the set designs, and you know, the graphic designs, the visual effects, all of that stuff created here were awesome, and it was really refreshing to look at. A lot of movies fail to do what Marvel does, and that is world building and having an atmosphere to it, and I do think this movie had that for sure. You kind of sort of transition through the movie and you have all sorts of different set pieces and worlds that you're going to, and it's really cool, I think. Story aside, it's just a spectacle, and Marvel never misses their mark with that, so that is cool. The effects were pretty cool as well. Thor's armor looked pretty dope. Korg is, as always, a well done CGI character. The gold at the god's palace, all of the different types of gods and different type of people. It was fun. All of that is great. It looks really good. Gore almost being this horror movie icon of a villain, a lost soul, like sleepy, hollow type of character with the pale nature and the orange eyes after being transformed and possessed by the necro sword into this god killer. That was pretty fucking awesome. And his whole character is amazing. I loved him. And like I said earlier, Christian Bale as a villain put my curiosity through the roof for this movie, and he didn't disappoint. He's never gonna disappoint. It's fucking Christian Bale. Besides Loki, he is probably the best villain in the Thor universe. Obviously, there's not a huge bar there. You have the Frost Giants, you have the Dark Elves. I mean, obviously he's better than them. Those guys are kind of whatever. Honestly, he is the highlight of the film. He is the best part of the movie. Gore is easily the best character in this entire thing. Great acting as well by Christian Bale. You know, his his dialogue, his mannerisms. He plays this character really well. In a world of bad Marvel villains, this guy may be on the upper echelon despite how mid this movie was. I also just like how in the end he still cares about his daughter, and he's still a guy that has a heart, and those are just the best type of villains. I mean, take Thanos for example. All these great villains, these guys don't just fuck shit up. They don't just go there remorselessly fucking stuff up. A, they genuinely think they're doing the right thing, and B, they really sit back and think about what they do. Him having a daughter that he loved dearly that died, it's just a perfect setup for what he does in this movie. The shadow monsters also looked like something straight out of a Nightmare Before Christmas film, and I love that fucking movie. By the way, let me know some Halloween films to watch down below that I haven't reviewed on the channel, by the way, because it is about that fucking time. I mean, it is October 2nd when I'm recording this video, so I'm gonna need some Halloween recs ASAP. And some people would say the effects are sloppy in that sense. Like, they look cartoony, they look kind of fake, they look kind of like glittery. From a guy who has seen hundreds of movies, especially since picking up cinema as a passion on this channel, I can tell when things are heavily edited, and I can tell here, but this didn't affect me as much. In terms of the fun also, I just think it's a family friendly, almost set up as a fairy tale type of movie, and sure, in terms of a Thor movie, that isn't much appreciated for me especially, we'll get into that soon, but just as a standalone movie, if you don't care about the story trajectory of the MCU, this may be the Marvel movie for you. It's kind of funny, I don't know, I guess we'll touch on the comedy later. Thor has good parts to him too. I'll kind of shit on his character a little later, but he's still the guy that you want to lead you into battle just because of his charisma, his charm, leadership, physicality, all the great qualities, the core qualities that make Thor who he is. Again, I will be discussing how they continue to drop the ball with him at times, but overall, he's still Thor. I think the concept of Natalie Portman and Jane Foster coming back is actually quite cool, and those two continue to make sense as a couple in these movies. It's probably stronger in this movie than it's ever been. Obviously, X is now with some goofy, awkward tension, but it is a very wholesome duo, and they really push this concept of complicated love throughout the movie, and I love that. Also, her costume's fucking awesome. There's that, but that's about it for the good. So getting into the bad, one thing I will say is it really sucks that this movie had to come after Thor Ragnarok, which is hailed as one of the best movies in the Thor series. I personally don't agree with that, but I can understand it. I think they go a little too far to the realm of mythology and focus a little too much on laughs and goofiness and NPC-ish family fun. I don't know, it just kind of seems disrespectful that they continue to go on this route with Thor's character and with his movies. It leaves a bad taste in core fans' mouth. It's really bad for his legacy. I don't like it. Mjolnir gets painted with sparkles at the end. He's prancing around like a goofball, rocking cut-off shirts, human clothes, listening to Guns N' Roses, and I don't mind Guns N' Roses, but this is a fucking Norse mythology figure. Like, seriously. He is a Norse god. Why don't we treat him like one instead of offending many folktales that have dropped over the centuries of our existence? Dad Thor, Fat Thor, like, shut up, man. Enough of that. We don't need that. We don't need the corniness of Korg and the dumbass director who voiced him talking about that shit. Again, why did YTT go off script this much? Why? We'll never know. The guy's a goofy piece of work. I mean, look at the character he played in Free Guy. I know I might sound like I'm going on a rant here, but this genuinely deserves hate because it's Thor. It's not fucking the Guardians of the Galaxy. You don't have the right to fuck this character up like this. Thor just doesn't work as a comedy. Like, Marvel should maybe look at movies like this as to why they've been doing so bad in the 2020s as a movie studio. The movie's just extra. I don't know what else to say. I'll continue to talk though. And all of that stuff just takes away from the genuine conflict that is going on here. Some things were supposed to be serious. Jane Foster is dying from phase 4 cancer. By the way, that's a stupid punchline. All of the gods may die in endgame fashion. Like, this should literally be the endgame of Thor's neck of the woods, but instead a bunch of glitter is thrown in here. It is just not appropriate for what we're going for here. There were also just a lot of things that annoyed me. Like, it's an annoying movie too, like just how goofy and dumb it is. For one, Zeus. Why are we making Zeus a sexual deviant who isn't someone to be taken serious? It's Zeus, the god of lightning, the biggest god in all of mythology, arguably. I mean, sure, people bow down to him in this movie and whatever, but he was a fucking moron. And especially with Russell Crowe and all the roles we know him to play as, playing the guy, this is not the direction at all we should be taking with this character. Everything is stacking up to Zeus being a genuinely serious character, because he is in mythology, but no, he's a fatso. Like, come on. Zeus is a mighty strong guy, not a fatso who just acts as a ruler and never really is one. He's a coward, a loser, whatever insult you want to throw at him, he's that. That just doesn't work for Zeus, and it doesn't work for Russell Crowe as an actor either. The fact that he's an actual character and not a joke too, it's like, Wow. Taking Thor's clothes off and the girl's passing out. Why do we have to be so forcefully cheesy that the film just isn't good anymore and it ruins it? I think the film was honestly fine up to this point, and then this happens and I'm like, are we dead ass right now? This is what we're doing. Also, the second thing that annoys me, the fucking goats. Goats screaming aren't funny now and never were in 2022. I know that was kind of like a meme craze and there were like goats screaming on Vine and like people were having a ball about it. But like, if you are one of those weirdos that laughs at shit like that, get the fuck away from me, please. You're a cornball. It's just annoying. And what is this, Fortnite? You have stupid ass goats carrying a ship on a rainbow road. Is this a mythological movie or a damn video game adaptation? What is happening? Just dumb moments all over. Please stop catering to a bunch of fucking 11-year-olds and start catering to the fans that have been here since the beginning. You guys look like cash cows doing this. I get it. Marvel wants to make money. They're a big Hollywood company. Whatever. And I almost forgot this too. Why the fuck is there a love triangle between Thor and two weapons? They're inanimate objects. Like, what the fuck is going on here? There's also things that they just shouldn't joke about that they do. Is it bogus and funny in a dark way? At times, I guess, but man, come on. The running jokes just they don't even make this feel like a Thor movie. Like, this shouldn't be a Thor movie. And the fact that it is, at the end of the day, is quite offensive to not only Thor, but fans of the movie, fans of the mythology, enthusiasts of Norse mythology. It's offensive. It's like a Happy Gilmore or like one of those old school comedies with running jokes. It's not a superhero movie. And I love Happy Gilmore. I love There's Something About Mary. Go watch my reviews on all those old comedy films, but it doesn't work for a Thor movie. And for Gore's case, just getting into the villain, it sucks too that the horror elements and the comedy elements are so out of place together in a superhero film that he feels out of place and he's not even going to seem memorable because he was a part of such a shit movie. Please go one or the other, guys. Like, make this a horror, make this a comedy. If you're going to have a Dark Souls type of character, make it a scary fucking dark ass movie. Don't throw comedy in there. If you're going to make it a comedy movie, don't put a badass fucking legendary iconic villain in here because it's just going to make that not even matter at the end of the day. What happened to the spectacle, the tales, the tragedy, the mythological atmosphere of Thor in relation to that? I know I'm yapping, but why throw that out the window? It's just confusing move on confusing move in the writing room, and I think that almost makes the movie itself confusing. They pull a lot of things out of their ass. The writing also sucks, so I don't know what to think at this point. Like, what were we doing? Did you guys have time to write this? Did you just fucking think of some immature ass jokes to make? I don't know. I might have honestly hyped this movie up too much based on the negativity here. I might give it too high of a score for what I'm saying here, but we're just gonna go with it, I guess. This is gonna be a short section, but getting into the okay, this is things that were just kind of there. That's what this section has kind of turned into on this channel. It's kind of been a trend among my Marvel videos. Valkyrie, meh. The comedy itself, whatever. It can work, but whatever. None of it is funny to me really, so I don't know. Comedy is there. The Guardians of the Galaxy. Why even bring them here if they just appear at the beginning? Like, what? I don't hate that, but it's also like, why are they in this movie? Guns N' Roses is included in the soundtrack, which was the only thing on the soundtrack. Cool, I guess? Like, was that supposed to cater to some old heads? I mean, Guns N' Roses is a fine band, but I don't listen to them. Okay, whatever. It's a very niche thing to put in your movie. So getting into the review, pull up the tier list. I will say this movie definitely isn't good. I am no way saying it is good with this rating. It isn't even a satisfying way to continue Thor's character arc properly. It's just a decent movie. Just a family fun, wholesome Minecraft movie. Everything is awesome, glitter, sunshine, hooray, wholesome, rainbows type of thing. It is very much catered to a general audience besides a few obviously spicy, weird, humorous things they throw in here. I will say that is where most of this movie's strength comes from, and that's why I understand why some people would like it. Now I know the vast majority of people that actually watched this movie did not like it, but for the people who did, that is most likely why. It's a fun ride at times. I mean, if you're watching this with your kids or something, sure. I don't know. However, in terms of a tale about mythological characters, albeit with a human in there, which they've made that work in other movies, it's just not that strong of a movie. It is in no way traditional, which is fine. Marvel strays away from core principles and core genres and the normal at the time. That's what makes it such a good franchise. But for a topic as serious as Norse gods and figures, you kind of have to put some genuineness to it, and I think they might stray on the goofy, comedic, satirical side a little too much here, which is why I will be giving it a decent rating of a 6.2 out of 10. That's honestly higher than what most people would put it, so you guys should be happy if you're fans and enthusiasts of it. I think it is a fine movie, but definitely one of the weaker movies we have watched from this universe so far. It's bad for the most part, but not in a super detrimental way, and I'm fine with it. It's okay. So with that being said, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, guys. As always, this has been GZTV. Let me know what you guys think of this movie. Did you think it was overhated? underrated? Do you think it's even overhyped by some people? I don't know. I think it's just whatever. Very, very meh. It might even be under meh. It's just like, I don't care to watch it again. I don't know, guys.